whenever you write books, the newest one is always your favorite, so you forget how much you liked the ones that came before. So I thought it'd be fun today to read from my latest book, which came out last year, which is Learning by Rote, and then read from my very first book, Running Like a Woman with Her Hair on Fire. And I just thought that might be, I don't know, a fun contrast or comparison in the reading. So that's what I'm reading from today. This first one from Learning by Rote is called Amenities. In the apartment next door, a woman sings along with Jackson Browne, Running on Empty, like her life depended on the song, on the singing it just right. I can't imagine why this reminded me of you after all this time, but it has done that. Did I ever hear you sing that tune? Maybe once as you washed dishes or hung up clothes. You were a tidy person when I knew you. A letter should begin with the amenities. How are you? How is your mother? How is your father? How is your brother? I heard you bought a new house. How nice. Maybe I should include a line or two about how long it's been or how the weather is in my part of the world. Having begun this, I'm not certain how to continue. I remember your slim tree of a body gone still. The thought of our absence from each other heavy in your eyes. It is fire season here, you know. Winds below the canyon sweep through, encouraging the angry smoke of fires that have waited out damp winter and are ready to live. A taste of chamomile comes into my mouth when I think of you. You touched the side of my breast as though it was yours to keep. Did you ever take that trip to Ayers Rock? I wondered about that. It is windy here right now as I write this. I love the sound it makes. Are you a better cook than you used to be? You should see how tall my son has grown, how long my daughter's hair is. They were children when I last saw you. Perhaps they still are. Perhaps we still are. The hard part of this is figuring out what is timeless, what has limits. The woman next door has moved on to another tune. She sings something I don't know, something I'll bet you don't know. I am thinking now of your slim tree of a body gone still, your image, how it hangs in the air, the way a bird will call to another bird. You don't have to clap, it's okay. Sorry. But thank you. This is based on a true story, which I got out of the newspaper. The poem is called The Fall of Icarus. New York, 2011. Hannah Lynn, 26, fell from the balcony of apartment number 2640 at 101 Warren Street and landed on an elevated park-like common area on the 5th floor of a Barnes & Noble. Police said this. No foul play is suspected, and investigators have not ruled out suicide. I gained weight on the way down, maybe 1,000 pounds. They say you gain weight when you fall from a high place. I, who was careful about my figure most of the time, cartwheeled past the 15th floor, mourning my days without chocolates or ice cream. Oh, I made toasts with the best of them, but it was with light beer. A slim figure counts for something, don't you think? The air was cool from the open window, the view spectacular, Tribeca stretching out and around, lit only for me. Why should I not want to own those lights, stuff them into my eyes and mouth like chocolate truffles as I tipped over and over again in the dark? Like a 1-ton piece of chalk, I tumbled, watched as windows passed, and wondered if I was in a dream, would wake on the couch when I came to the bottom. But it was a bookstore roof that stopped me, not a couch, or friend shaking my shoulder, laughing at my beery breath. I heard the rustling of pages as my smudged mascara and excess de rouge lipstick found the 5th floor. Told myself, somebody is writing about this. This is called Not to Fear the Dark. I've learned that night sounds are the ones that carry the signs and portents. The voices of the future come dancing out of the dark like bits of ice from the sky. The voices speak softly, remind us of our regrets, hold our wishes the way Eve did the apple, pleading, be brave with me, taste. Night opens the ears, sings songs of our fathers and mothers walking behind us, steering us to the confusion and risks and pleasures of life. This is why we mustn't fear the dark, not as children, not at the last moment of our lives. It is in the night that our indecencies fall away and our prayers come up out of us without tangle or torment. I write this to you now so you'll know not to fear, not ever to fear the rippling cloth of night. It belongs to you. It always has. This is called Guerrilla Whining. This poem is pounding on the door of your perceptions, groveling at the knees of your conscience. I offer you the precious kiss of reality, the work of the homeless to survive one more night, the limiting nature of nuclear incident, the criminality of our prejudices, and the arrogance of our wealth. The monsters of commerce call to us, and we respond, choking on $12.95 wine and caraway crackers. The whites of the world's eyes are blushing with exhaustion. Good people have calloused lips from sucking the blame out of the tall frosted glasses held by congressmen and princes. We want to be dauntless in an era that begs us to forget, to ignore Iraq, Abu Ghraib, Katrina. The fragile white palm of a politician's hand forever urging the bloody adventurers onward, waving as the world's warring stride off to meet. This is the palm no one touches. We only imagine it, and still it pushes, directs, encourages, and waves goodbye. Larry Levis said, terror is a complete state of understanding. I get that. I agree with that. Politics is a meaningless famine, giving us the necessary vocabulary to discuss our new myths. It is compensatory collateral that makes of us sheep children, floating in nameless liquid in glass jars on the shelves of fucking hell. I do not want to keep you all here too long, so I'm going to cut it a little bit short.
We're just warming up.
Yeah, you can keep going. I like to hear them all.
Oh, you're very sweet. Okay, alrighty then. I will. You never hear no to that from a poet. Okay, this is, and thank you. This is called Above Us on the Hill, and the epigraph is from Walt Whitman. He said, I have heard what the talkers were talking. They talk of the beginning and the end, but I do not talk of the beginning or the end. When the moment no longer supported me, I let go. Let the water engulf me and the riptides pull at me. When strangers listened to me, their ears at my door, I became mute so that the pulsing of my blood was all they could hear. I abandoned myself to the grim, small towns of nightmares and the heavy calm of love's hiding places. It was only then that I learned about time, how its gingery sweetness deludes and mocks us. We don't grow in time. We unroll ourselves like children in rolled carpets, prodded down a hill, ourselves rolling, unrolling by inches, and standing in vertigo-ridden wonder at the foot of that hill. The oppression of the carpet lies a few feet above us. It accuses us as harshly as the pointed fingers of our dead loved ones. We are guests who overstay our welcome. The carpet is no longer our toy. It's time, friends, the gift of a God who withholds pity, withholds proof of existence, withholds peace. All we are granted is faith's stagnant pool and time's carpet, flattened and useless, a few feet above us on Persephone's hill. This next poem is a Pantoum. It's a really fun form to work in. I really enjoy working in it. And it's a form of poetry that's in quatrains. You know, it's got four lines to a stanza, and then there are various lines in the poem are repeated throughout the poem. It's called this one's called Pantoum of Woman in Coffee Shop Window. The woman in the window folds her hands. Her eyes are poised for tenderness or fire. Her blue cup is a fountain of strange life. Her silence braids poppies to chiseled blades. Her eyes are poised for tenderness or fire. Her insolent mouth celebrates secrets. Her silence braids poppies to chiseled blades. She sits in the shadow of her conversion. Her insolent mouth celebrates secrets. She's been given the edge of the world. Though she sits in the shadow of conversion, her disbelief trembles like ripened lust. In 1990, Time Books produced a book called Eyewitness, 150 Years of Photojournalism. And the photographs are wonderful, and I just got completely turned on by them. And you know what happens when a poet gets turned on by something, they write poems about it, right? So this book inspired a series of poems, 6 of which are included in Learning by Rote, but there are 2 of them here. The first one's called Coney Island, 1946. The photographer is Henri Cartier-Bresson. It could easily be the opening of a porno film, but this is Time Magazine, 1946. The sand, the blanket on the sand, the girl on the blanket on the sand, the 2 men on the girl on the blanket on the sand. Her mouth is open and smiling. The guy in the sailor cap holds down her wrists and leans over her. The other man watches, his back to the camera. The sailor has sand on his thigh and a bulge in his swim trunks. My mother had that girl's bathing suit, but not that girl's open-mouthed laugh. What a pity.
That's a great poem.
Thank you.